Turkey is what you will call the land where East meets West, where ancient histories intertwine with modern dreams. From the bustling markets of Istanbul to the serene views in Cappadocia and the inspiring historic sites scattered throughout the country. In this video, we'll look into the rich culture, history, and people that make Turkey a complex and often misunderstood nation. Fasten your seatbelts, you're about to hear some shocking things. Earlier, I called Turkey the land where East meets West, but this is more than just a geographical location. Turkey is also a bridge that spans continents and civilizations. It's at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, and therefore has been a meeting point for diverse cultures, religions, and empires. The Ottoman Empire, for example, which ruled over 6 centuries, left an indelible mark on Turkey's identity. You can see the opulent palaces of Istanbul to intricate tileworks that adorn mosques. The Ottoman legacy permeates the country's architecture and art, and even shapes societal norms, legal systems, and culinary traditions. In 1923, the birth of the modern Republic of Turkey ushered in a new era of secularism and modernization. Under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, Turkey embraced a path of westernization, while still honoring its rich cultural heritage. This delicate balance between tradition and progress continues to shape the nation's identity. You could call them the old and the new in one. Throughout its history, Turkey has been a melting pot of influences, absorbing elements from the Byzantine, Persian, Greek, and Seljuk civilizations, among others. However, these influences have contributed to the complexity and diversity that characterize Turkish society today. To explain that, let's look at the cultural nuances of the Turkish people. If you're not familiar with them, there are nuances within Turkish society that can be easily misunderstood by outsiders. For example, with the economic crisis plaguing the world, Turkish people still welcome guests with open arms, a practice that dates back centuries. And if you don't see what is shocking about that, they invite strangers into their home and serve them a lavish meal. This practice is called misafirperverlik. Pardon my pronunciation if I didn't get it right. Communal living is also an integral part of Turkish culture, particularly in rural areas. Extended families often reside together under one roof, with multiple generations contributing to the household and supporting one another. This strong sense of community fosters a deep sense of belonging and shared responsibility, values that permeate various aspects of Turkish life. To an outsider, these cultural nuances might seem bewildering or even excessive, but hello, it works for them, and they're happy with it. Next, let's look at the language and communication. Their language is actually complex if you ask me. One of its most striking features is its phonetic diversity, with a broad range of vowels and consonants that can pose a challenge for non-native speakers. But that's not just it. The Turkish have a unique way of expressing respect and familiarity through language. They have formal and informal pronouns, and if you fail to observe these linguistic expressions, you can mistakenly convey disrespect or create misunderstandings that might land you in trouble. Their language also reflects the country's rich cultural heritage, with loan words from Arabic, Persian, and other languages adding depth and complexity to its lexicon. Now, let's take an overview of its politics and society. Turkey's political scene is like a tightrope walker that's constantly trying to balance itself. On one side, there are the secularist ideals laid down by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of modern Turkey. These principles focus on keeping religion separate from state affairs, aiming for a modern, progressive Turkey. On the other side, there's been a resurgence of religious and conservative values, and this has sparked a lot of debates on how Turkey should move forward. One thing's for sure, there's no single way to describe Turkish politics. It's not all one thing or another. Turkey is home to many different people, each with their own view of what the country should be like. From the bustling streets of Istanbul to the quiet villages in Anatolia, from the boardrooms of big companies to the small cafes by the sea, everyone has their own opinion. It's this diversity that makes Turkey's political landscape so vibrant but also so complex. Now, let's have a comparison between the misconceptions versus reality in Turkey. Turkey is often surrounded by stereotypes and incomplete narratives that perpetuate misconceptions about its people and society. It's time to confront these misunderstandings head-on and shed light on them. One prevalent myth is that Turkey is a predominantly conservative and religious society. However, the reality is different. In fact, you could say over 51% of Turkish citizens identify as non-religious or secular. Another widespread belief is that Turkish women are oppressed and lack equal rights. In truth, Turkey was one of the first countries in the world to grant women the right to vote and hold public office back in 1934. Today, women make up a significant portion of the workforce, including in high-ranking positions in government and business. Misconceptions about Turkey's relationship with the West also persist. While tensions have existed historically, Turkey has been a long-standing member of NATO since 1952 and has actively sought integration with European institutions like the EU. Additionally, Turkish society itself is a vibrant blend of Eastern and Western influences, defying simplistic categorizations. Finally, I'd like to shed light on what I'd call the challenges of understanding Turkey. It's going to be summarizing everything I said earlier. The country is right in the middle of the continents of Europe and Asia, and like I said earlier, has long been a crossroads of civilizations absorbing influences from East and West. Over time, Turkey has picked up bits and pieces from both sides, blending them into something unique. But this mix can be confusing for people from other places because it's hard to put Turkey in just one category. In Turkey, there's a wide variety of people, each bringing their own customs, foods, and music to the table. It's like a big family gathering where everyone's brought a different dish. While this diversity makes Turkey incredibly interesting, it also makes it more complicated to understand. What's normal in one part of Turkey might be unusual in another. Turkey's political scene can be as complex as a game of chess, with many players and strategies. The country is always trying to balance its rich history with modern demands, keeping both old traditions and new ideas in play. For someone looking in from the outside, it might seem confusing to keep track of all the moves. But that's what makes it special. The very things that make Turkey hard to understand are what makes it fascinating. It's a place where you can see ancient ruins one day and cutting-edge art the next. You can meet people with all sorts of viewpoints and try foods that blend tastes from across the globe. Understanding Turkey might be a challenge, but it's worth the effort. It's like finally putting together that big, colorful puzzle and stepping back to see a beautiful picture you couldn't have imagined at the start. Turkey is a country full of surprises, and getting to know it is an adventure all on its own. Did you enjoy this video or learn something new? Do like this video, and if you ever have been to Turkey, let me know in the comments. And if you intend to visit Turkey soon, share it in the comments too. Who knows, a local may be here to give you some further advice.